Hello there, and welcome to Really Cool Excel. Today we're going to have our first look at charts. Every picture tells a story, according to Rod Stewart, and a chart can tell that story in a format that's easy to understand and interpret. The best advice I can give you about creating a chart is to start by selecting the data. The reason is, if you create your chart from live data, Excel will show you how your chart will look right from the word go. Here's an example we can play with. This data represents sales figures for 3 regions over 3 months. It's ideal data for a basic chart because it's in one solid block and it has row and column headers here and here. So, like I said, start by selecting the data. All the chart buttons are on the Insert tab in the Chart group. I should say that my Insert tab will be different from yours because I've moved things around to make it easier to record the screen. Our data looks as though it would be best suited to a column chart, so click the drop down. There are 5 types of column chart: 2D, 3D, cylinder, cone and pyramid. For this exercise I'll select the first one, a 2D clustered column chart. Sounds posh, eh? Anyway, as soon as I click it, I have a chart. It's as fast as that. The column headers, that is the months, are here on the x-axis, and the row headers, the regions, are on the y-axis. And the columns are linked to the data, so if I change a number, or indeed a header, the chart changes too. Look at the red one, for example. It's now higher. At this point I've clicked away from the chart so it's not active, and as you can see, the tabs along the top of the ribbon are the same as they always are. But as soon as I click on the chart, making it active, 3 extra Chart Tools tabs appear. This feature was introduced in Office 2007. They only appear when you need them, so if you're not a fan of clutter, this keeps things nice and tidy. Incidentally, Microsoft Word has table tabs for when you're working in a table, and PowerPoint has picture tabs. There are some others, but let's get back to our chart and have a look around these tabs. The Design tab is mainly for colour schemes and default layouts, and the Format tab allows us to work with shapes and text, among other things. Today we'll work mainly on the Layout tab, and particularly these buttons in the Labels group. Now, our chart is fairly basic, so it could do with being tarted up a bit, so it's easier to understand what the chart is saying. First off, it could do with a title, so we'll click the Chart Title button. We can have the title overlaid on the chart area or above the chart area. Like many other aspects of chart design, it can be a matter of personal choice, but overlay might not be suitable if the columns below it come right to the top of the chart, as they do here. It will get in the way. So we'll choose above the chart this time. Now we can edit the title to say something relevant and change the font, colour or size too if we want. Next up is the legend, over here. Again, we can show the legend in various places, including right, top, left or bottom. Where you put it will change the size and shape of the chart. If it's above, the chart area is low and wide. If it's on the right, the chart area is tall but narrow. I think it suits this chart to have the legend here, so I'll just leave it here for now. Then there are data labels. Looking at the columns, we can see by these grid lines roughly what is the value of each column. Data labels let you display the figures, again wherever suits you best. I prefer to see them above the columns, but you can choose from 4 different options. Now the exact values are displayed, so it's easier for the reader to understand them. Finally, for this lesson anyway, colours. Excel has given me these colours, blue, red and green. But what if I don't like the blue and want to change it? First thing to do is to click any column of that colour, which puts sizing handles round all the blue columns, indicating they are all active and ready to be formatted. Now for formatting changes like this, right-click is really handy. To change any element of a chart, put your mouse right on that element and right-click. As you would expect, right-click gives us a context menu with all the options that will help us. The last option on the list is Format Data Series. A data series on this chart is a related group of columns, in this case north. Click that, then Fill, Solid Fill, then Color, then Purple. I do like purple. Then Close to accept the change. Maybe I only want to change one column so it really stands out, to bring it to everyone's attention at a team meeting, for example. This one, perhaps. Click the column as before, they are all active. Then click this column again. Now it's the only one with sizing handles, so it's the only one that's active. Right-click. The option we used the last time was Format Data Series, but now it's Format Data Point. Our column is one data point on the data series. Follow the same route as before. Fill, Solid Fill, Color, then Yellow, Close, and there's our standout colour. You can right-click on the data labels to format them, and the same with the axis or the legend. If you need more colour in your life, right-click anywhere in the background to format the plot area. I think having the background in colour is probably a step too far, but hey, it's your chart and your ink budget. At some point you might decide a column chart just doesn't fit the bill. On the Design tab there's a button to change chart type, to a line chart for example. That just doesn't work for me, so let's undo. Finally, by default, Excel places your chart on the same sheet as your data. But there might not be room for the chart on that sheet, or it might be the boss or the client doesn't need to see the data. On the Design tab again, we can move the chart to a different sheet with more space, or we can put it on a new sheet all on its own. The default sheet name is Chart 1, but you can change it to something more suitable. So that's an introduction to charts. There's lots more we can do with charts, but that's a lesson for another video. Key thing to remember is start by selecting the data first, then use a mixture of the Chart Tools tabs and right-click to change the basic model into a chart that paints a clear picture. Right, I'll leave you now to go off and experiment, and if you'd like more practice, download the associated Excel file from the website. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.